Today we're going to learn how to take a field that we're interested in doing a research project on, such as this one, creating a field boundary in it, whether we have one already from our mapping software or from mapping a field previously, or whether we make it online. So we can take a boundary from the field like this, and then we can take it, turn it into a research trial, such as one here where these different shaded areas represent different areas of, say, a nitrogen rate application with, we're going to use urea in this example, ranging from a urea rate of 65 to 525 pounds per acre, with the typical range being here, so you have some lower numbers and some higher rates to figure out what's the best rate in different areas of this field. So today we're going to go over software that can help us take a field boundary area and create a map or a prescription to help us go out and apply this to our own field across the whole area. So to do this, we're first going to open up our browser, and we're going to go to DIFM.farm. And this website is going to open up, and it's going to show us a bunch of trials that are being done on the software and in this program. And there are several things here, but we're going to first focus on, in order to do this, we need to go over here to this icon. And I'm already signed in, but it's easy for anyone to sign up. Anyone's available or eligible. You just have to go in, create a username, create a password. It'll send you an email confirming that that's the correct email, and then you can go on and create maps and things like from that. So once we are signed in, we can go to Farms, Farmers and Advisors. We can click on Farms, and here I have lots of different farm names. You can add your farm to this list as well. We're going to go ahead and add a farm. So then we're going to say this is the area where the farm's going to be. I'm just picking a field close to the campus where I work. So that's going to be our farm. The name is going to be, we're going to name it Brookings 2, just not get confused. We'll call it Test. We're going to click Save. And then from here we can scroll down. We can see that this Brookings 2 Test is right here. And the next thing we want to do is to go to Fields. And over here, you don't see the field area, but we're not going to worry about that right now. You can either upload a field if you have the boundary file. You can easily upload that as well here. Or you can go ahead and draw it. I'm just going to show you a quick way to draw if you just want to experiment. And we can also look at uploading a file as well. So first of all, draw a field. So here it's going to take us to about where that address was, and this is the field we're going to work with right here. So this is what I'm going to work with if it was our square, or if I just want to draw the points on the polygons. We're going to click that right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just click the four corners of this field. If you're going to do this, for sure, you want to probably go out there and map the field or have at least an A-B line that's accurate that you use. That's the most important part. So we're going to click each of these corners of this field. And it's going to create a boundary for us. And we're going to call this Brookings Corn N. It's going to be a trial, so then from there we're going to click Submit. So you can see the trial here on the field that we're going to be working with. So the next thing we're going to do, that's our field, so we're going to upload trials. And we're going to add a trial. So the trial for this one we're going to call Corn N Test 2. The year is 2025. We're going to do a corn crop. Here we're going to mark it as a test trial, so this just make sure it doesn't send it to the DIFM administrators in that framework. And we're going to click Save. When we get to that point, we can uncheck that if that's what we want to do. So we're going to click Save. From here, we have our Corn N Test 2 year, and then our crop. We're incomplete, so the next thing we're going to do, we could add other trials to here, but we're going to just go ahead and configure this. So the first thing we need to do is add an AB line. If you already have an existing AB line that you use for the field, that's easy to do there. So we go to Add AB. If you have an AB line for this field and you don't want to take a shapefile and download it, you can just look at it on your monitor and get the starting longitude and latitude and the heading, or the start and end points, latitude and latitude, or you can upload a shapefile. If you download that from your Operations Center, if you have that, or from your monitor. So we're going to call this Corn N Test 2 AB line. And here, since we don't have any of that for this field, it's just an example. What we're going to do is we're going to go over here, we're going to click, we're going to draw the polyline, zoom out a little bit so we can see that to the field. I'm going to say this click on there, then we're going to click there. Continue drawing. I'm going to say this edge of the field right here is what we're going to call straight, and that's what we're going to use as our AB line. And then that over here gives us the starting latitude, longitude, latitude, as well as the heading. This looks about right, about 180 degrees. Then we're going to call that good for this example. We're going to click Save. So we see our map here. We added our AB line. So now we can scroll down further, and we can look into the trial configuration. So we're going to go to Add and Edit here. So here we're going to unit, we're going to say feet. Our harvester width, our combine has a 30-foot corn head. The headland distance for this is we have a planter that is a 16-row planter, 30-inch row spacing, so it's a 40-foot planter. So we normally do 2 passes around the field, so that's an 80-foot headland distance, but we're going to put, instead of 80, we're going to put 120, just to give room for the treatment, so we're not having these treatment areas when we're starting and stopping the applicator, starting and stopping the planter and things like that. So it's a little more consistent when we actually get the treatment areas. So we're going to use that. This isn't necessarily the headland, but you're still going to plant that 80 feet of your headland if you go 2 passes with 40-foot planter. But the treatments are just going to start a little bit farther inside with the applicator. So the sideland distance, we're going to do a fertilizer application, and the fertilizer applicator from the co-op is 70 feet wide, so we're going to say our sideland distance before we start. We want 70 feet of a buffer area there. Doesn't necessarily have to match. If you want to match, at least going in that number of feet from your planter, not including those sidelands, you can also do that as well, but we're just going to keep it. So we could do, if we don't want to get the sidelands at all, you could go in and say, okay, I want actually 2 rounds with the applicator, so we're going to go 140 feet there. Plot length, maybe I want to see a little bit longer plot length, so I'm going to go 250 to 350 on this. Then we're going to click Done. So we've added our AB line. We're going to go down. We put in our main trial configuration with the harvester width, the headland distance, the sideland distance, minimum and maximum plot length. And now we're going to go to our input specifications. So we're going to click on Add Inputs. From here we have some stuff that comes in automatically, but here we're going to click on an input category. We're going to say nitrogen. We're going to say urea. You can see the other ones that are possibilities. If you want to scroll through this and play with it more, you can see a bunch of them as well. And sometimes you can have to play around with going up a little bit so you can see all the options. See nitrogen, the other blends, phosphorus, calcium, cover crop, biostimulant, lime, fertilizer blends. Sometimes if you can't necessarily see all the options here, another good thing to do is just to control and zoom out. So then you can see more, like you can see the seed was above that nitrogen, so seeding rate as well. But I'm going to zoom back in just so we can see everything a little bit better on this video. So we're going to nitrogen, we're going to urea, and this is, you can see the different units. This is measured on a pounds per acre basis. So the machinery details, harvester, we already input was 30. This is the applicator, so we got to click on the plus because we haven't input it yet. Once it's input, that's fine. We're going to say the targator. Here is that. It's a 70-foot width. Section, we're going to say it only has 1 section, so we just do the same rate all the way through the field. You have to talk to your co-op or look at your equipment to see how close the sections can become. If you want to add more, this is applicator. The only other option is harvester. So if a planter is an applicator, fertilizer applicator, all applicators. Then we go ahead and click Save. Oh, sorry, I didn't put in sections, so we're going to make sure that sections was 1. If it has multiple sections or individual planter boxes, it could be more. So we've input that information there. So now we've input it. Now we just got to select it. So it brings in the 70-foot width. Machine sections are 1. Headland distance, sideland distance. Design type, we can do a checkerboard. If we just want to do straight strips across the field, we can click on that. Checkerboard is a little bit better to see differences throughout the field, so we're going to do that. The input plot width really depends on all the equipment you're using. The smallest piece of equipment, we're applying fertilizer with our 70-foot applicator. So that's our treatment, so I'm going to put that as our input plot width. If you're curious on this, just talk to the person that you're working with. For number of rates, we're going to do 7 urea rates. Our normal input, we're going to say, is 325 pounds of urea per acre. Our minimum rate, just kind of looking at the equipment, we're going to put it at a 65-pound minimum rate because it can't go lower than that. And our maximum rate, we're going to put at 525, so we go well above our normal to see if we need to go higher. We're going to select our AB line that we did earlier, that corn N test 2 AB line. And then we're going to click Done. So we've added our AB line here. Our trial configuration is correct here. These are all correct. And then we've gone through and we've said what we wanted to here. And then what we're going to do, if we wanted to, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to look at a different option. We can click Add Inputs there as well and do seeding rate on this field or things like that to see what that looks like as well. So we're going to say we want to look at that one, and we're going to go ahead and create it. So after it's done processing the create, we can continue to scroll down, and now we can look at some things here. So we can now look, we can open this, and it's going to bring up a picture of our trial and our site, so we can see our field. We can see we have our boundary areas. Our sideland was 140 feet, 2 passes with the interrogator, as well as a 120 feet buffer in this area here, so we could have some room before we start those treatments. And so we can see the treatments, we can see the ranges, and we see the different colors. And that's what we wanted to look at. So once we do that, that's one thing we can look at. We can go back. And then the next part here is we can view the report. And this is kind of a written up report to kind of look at it. It's going to tell us kind of some things we have there. We have a 90-acre field, 98 plots, 70 feet wide, between 250 and 454 feet long, 1 of 7 targeted urea rates. Talks about our headlands, our sidelands. This gives us a urea amount, so it's 2.8311 to the 4th, which is about 28,000 pounds of urea. Just have to move this over 4 points. And we can see again the map here, what it looks like. This is our targeted rates that we want. This is the number of replicates that we will have in the field. This shows us our AB line. This is our AB line we need to use for the urea application. So not the AB line that we input, but this is the AB line for the urea application that we need to use, or else things will get thrown off. And then this is the AB line we need to use for the harvester to get the best between those, to get the best harvest results within those treatment areas. So it's going to give us a picture. We're going to kind of see this again. This is the red is our border area. The gray is our trial area. We're applying different rates in the field. So this is the next part, is kind of visual of the AB line. So this is the applicator AB line, and then the next part down here we can see is the applicator AB line versus the harvester. So you can see the applicator is applying at a 70-foot spacing, then the harvester is a 30-foot. So you can see we're going to have one pass here, one pass here. Then on the pass back, we're going to have a mixed plot here between this one and the next one. When we process the data in future steps, these combine areas will get thrown out because it'll be a mix. But then the next areas inside of it we'll see when we get pure inside the treatment harvested areas, those will count towards the data. And those are just some other information. So the other important part here that we need is this gives us a map. It gives us everything we need. But what we need next is this isn't ready quite yet to go into the controller. So from there we would make this our final. Or if we can go here, we can click on download. And we look up here. Once that's downloaded, we can see inside of here we have a zipped folder. And inside that zipped folder is going to be everything that we would need to get the co-op or give to an advisor or send to DIFM, and they will be able to take this and you'll be able to tell them, I have a interrogator, I have a John Deere, I have a whatever precision planting, whatever your applicator software needs, they can then take this information here and put it into a format that you can then put into your applicator itself to do this and to be able to complete the study. So that's what this download is there as well. And once you like it, you can simply click Final. It's going to want you, is this your final trial design? You're going to say, yes, that's the one I want. And it's going to go in there, and then what happens when you go into Farmers and Advisors, you can go into Trials. And you scroll down, you're going to find that Brookings 2 test. And here we can click on Manage. And it'll give us a little bit more information about the field. And this is when we start to get that yield data at the end of the season. We can input it here, and we can input the as-applied urea here as well. We can upload those and do some other steps to then have the same software be able to process that data and kick out some real results so we can see what rate was the best across our field and how variable rate would look profit-wise in that field. But that's kind of an example of how we could use this to do a replicated trial in our own field. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to someone on the DIFM team or myself, and we can direct you to those people who can help you. But thank you for your time today.